Could a prime Cedric McMillan have defeated Nick Walker in today's bodybuilding game? Now, Nick Walker, he's only a rookie, but he's already made a huge name for himself. He is already among the top 5 bodybuilders of the world. And back in 2017, where this Cedric McMillan version is from, at the 2017 Arnold Classic, Cedric McMillan also used to be among the top bodybuilders of the world. Now, according to Hello Freaks, this is just me. Cedric McMillan's best shape is not the 2017 Arnold Classic, but it is the 2012 New York Pro. And I seem to agree with that. If you want to watch that video where this is just me, a bodybuilding YouTuber compares Cedric McMillan's 3 best versions, you can go ahead and do so. I'll link that in the description. But unfortunately, guys, the photos from that show had a really weird angle, so it made it virtually impossible to compare that Cedric McMillan to this version of Nick Walker. So I figured, let me use Cedric McMillan from his first Arnold Classic victory in 2017 and Nick Walker from his first Arnold Classic victory in 2021. Now, right off the bat, we can see that Cedric McMillan is significantly taller, but also Nick Walker is also significantly drier and he has a more filled out frame. But let's get through the mandatory poses, starting off with the frontal biceps. And this is apples versus oranges. Nick Walker, better muscle separation, dry to the bone. His legs are freaking dry, separated, huge, vascular. And Cedric McMillan, again, he has a much better structure. He looks a lot more aesthetic, but even though he's not soft, compared to Nick Walker just makes him look soft because Nick Walker, as I said, is freaking dry to the bone. Moving on to the front lat spread, and this pose is easily Cedric McMillan because he just has a much greater structure. He has a pretty tiny waistline and wide shoulders. Nick Walker, on the other hand, he is pretty wide himself, but his waist is wide as well, and this pose just sucks when it comes to Nick Walker. I don't know if it's his execution or just his structure that makes it impossible to execute a good front lat spread, but either way, easily Cedric McMillan takes this pose. Now when it comes to the side chest shot, if Cedric McMillan was drier downstairs, I think that he could get this pose, but as it is right now, it is quite close to call. In my opinion, I prefer Cedric McMillan. He just looks that much more aesthetic to me. His chest just looks, I don't know, it looks better, sort of has that 70s look. But overall, I think that perhaps the judges would give Nick Walker this pose because he is just that much drier and more separated downstairs. And he also has that grainy looks in his legs that Cedric McMillan seems to sorely lack. But at the same time, if you look at their arms, I would even argue that Cedric McMillan has slightly better muscle separation. So this pose could go either way, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Moving on to the side triceps, and in my opinion, I prefer the execution of Cedric McMillan in this pose. Now, I think that, again, guys, if you look downstairs at their wheels, Nick Walker just so much more dry, and he also possesses that vascular grainy look. But again, guys, this is fairly close, and if you take their heights into consideration, Cedric sort of dwarfs Nick Walker. He's just a bigger overall, but again, guys, Nick Walker has his frame much better, much more filled out, and he's drier, grainier. I don't know. Let's move on. When it comes to the back double biceps, again, in my opinion, Cedric McMillan, he hits a beautiful back double biceps. He has a better structure. And also, I feel like he has better muscle separation in his back. But then again, Nick Walker, slightly lower lat insertions. He has a bigger back overall. And downstairs is just not even close, in my opinion. I think that Nick Walker is dominant in that aspect. And when it comes to the arms, it's also quite close, but I still think that Nick Walker might have a slight edge there. So even though I might prefer the look of Cedric McMillan's back double biceps, it's hard to go against Nick Walker in this pose, especially the way that the IPB judges would see it. Now, when it comes to the back lat spread, I think that an argument could be made here for Cedric McMillan. Cedric McMillan, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed it, but he has some freaking amazing traps. Cedric McMillan, he just also hits this pose a lot better than Nick Walker. I do not like the way Nick Walker executes this pose, but then again, guys, even in this poor quality image, we can still notice that downstairs it's not even a contest. Nick Walker, he has a fairly big advantage when it comes to the wheels from the back, but overall, I think that you could argue that Cedric McMillan takes his pose. Why not, guys? Why not? Come on, let's give it to him. Let's give it to him. Shall we? Shall we, guys? Shall we? Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Now, let me stop fooling around when it comes to the abs and thighs. Again, guys, this is a case where you compare apples to oranges. Cedric McMillan, a much better structure, much more aesthetic. But then again, guys, Nick Walker, it looks like someone has implanted freaking bricks in his midsection. Even though it is wide, it is diced to the socks right off the box, as Louis Marco used to say. And when it comes to the wheels, it is not that dominant as from the back, but still, Nick Walker, he definitely has an advantage downstairs. And even though me personally, I strongly prefer Cedric McMillan in this pose, I feel like, again, the IFBB judges, they'd give this to Nick Walker. So that's that. Moving on to the final pose. Now I chose the crab most muscular because if I had chosen the hands clap most muscular, Cedric McMillan would have stood no chance. No offense to Cedric McMillan, but he's up against a freaking grainy vascular freak, even though he's only 27 years old, I believe. He already has that grainy, mature look, and even though this pose sort of favors Cedric McMillan a bit more than the hands clap most muscular would, I still think that perhaps Nick Walker would edge him out in this pose. Most muscular poses are created for grainy freaks like Nick Walker, and that's just that. So that was all the mandatory poses. Who would take this comparison, guys? Well, if it was up to me, I would obviously give it to Cedric McMillan. He just looks so much better, so much more aesthetic, and I just prefer the more aesthetic, taller bodybuilder look. But obviously, guys, let's be real here. If I was an IFBB judge, judging by their standards, there is no doubt in my mind that Nick Walker would get this pose. His frame is much better filled out. He has better muscle separation. He is grainier, more strided. He is just a freaking freak, and open class bodybuilding, it is a game for the freaks. So, no question about it. In an IFBB open class division contest, Nick Walker would easily edge out Cedric McMillan, but again, guys, Cedric McMillan, he'll probably be the people's champ because most people would prefer his look. So that was it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have also seen that I have recently gained a lot of new subscribers. I really appreciate that. Anyway, guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you beautiful and handsome ladies and gentlemen later.